Welcome to Strange Darkness Radio. I'm your host, Vanessa Scaduto. Today, I get to bring you a new mini-series with Strange Darkness Radio where I'm going to talk about ancient Greek gods, their enduring legacy in mythology, and possible influences on modern culture. Today, we're journeying through the intriguing world of Hermes, the multifaceted Greek god known for his speed, cunning, and diverse roles. He's also one of my personal favorites and a god that I personally revere. Hermes, a prominent figure in Greek mythology, was venerated from the early Archaic period around the 9th century BCE through the Hellenistic period, which ended in the 1st century BCE. His worship extended across the Greek world, reflecting his significance in daily life. Today, we'll explore some of his most famous myths, discuss how he was worshipped, and discuss gods in other cultures who resemble him. Let's start with the myths that reveal Hermes' character and importance. The theft of Apollo's cattle. The story begins in the very day of Hermes' birth. Born to Zeus and Maia in a secluded cave, the mischievous infant displayed extraordinary intelligence. Even as a newborn, he possessed an innate cunning that set him apart from the other gods. Within hours of his birth, he slipped out of his cradle and went out into the world in search of an adventure. During his explorations, Hermes stumbled upon a herd of sacred cattle belonging to Apollo. Ever the trickster, he devised a clever plan to steal them. To avoid detection, Hermes led the cattle backward, creating an illusion that they had moved in the opposite direction. He also crafted makeshift sandals from bark and leaves, strapping them to his feet to obscure his footprints. Under the cover of night, he drove the stolen cattle into a hidden cave. The next morning, Apollo discovered that his cattle were missing and used his divine senses to track them. Arriving at Maia's cave, he found the newborn Hermes innocently wrapped in swaddling clothes. Feigning ignorance, amused yet suspicious, Apollo brought the infant before Zeus to resolve the matter. Rather than punish Hermes, Zeus marveled at his son's ingenuity. To make amends, Hermes played a melody on a lyre he had fashioned from a tortoiseshell, captivating Apollo with his enchanting sound. Apollo was so taken by the music that he forgave Hermes and even offered to trade his cattle for the lyre, marking the beginning of Hermes' association with music and cunning diplomacy. Slayer of Argus Panoptes. One of Hermes' most famous feats involved the slaying of Argus Panoptes, a giant with 100 eyes. The event unfolded as part of Zeus's affair with the mortal woman Io. To protect Io from Hera's wrath, Zeus transformed her into a cow, but Hera was not fooled. She assigned Argus, a tireless watchman whose many eyes never rested all at once, to guard Io and prevent Zeus from freeing her. Zeus, unwilling to abandon Io to such fate, dispatched Hermes to outwit Argus. Disguising himself as a shepherd, Hermes approached the giant and engaged him in pleasant conversation. Using his gift of eloquence, Hermes spun a series of captivating tales, each more mesmerizing than the last. Gradually, Argus began to grow drowsy. Seizing the moment, Hermes produced his flute, played a melody so soothing that Argus's eyes closed one by one. Once the last eye had shut, Hermes swiftly drew his sword and slew the sleeping giant. With Argus defeated, Io was freed, though Hera later continued to torment her with a gadfly that drove her to wander the earth. In honor of Argus, Hera took his eyes and placed them on the tail of her sacred bird, the peacock, which remains a symbol of watchfulness and beauty to this day. Guide to the underworld. As a psychopomp, a guide of souls to the afterlife, Hermes played a crucial role in Greek mythology, ensuring that the dead reached their final destination in Hades. Unlike other Gothic deities, Hermes did not judge souls. Rather, he acted as a neutral escort, leading spirits safely through the treacherous journey into the underworld. One of Hermes' most significant underworld missions was aiding Persephone's return to the mortal realm. When Hades abducted Persephone, her mother Demeter plunged the world into a devastating famine and grief. In response, Zeus ordered Hermes to negotiate with Hades for Persephone's release. Descending into the underworld, Hermes used his diplomatic skills to broker a deal. Persephone would spend part of the year with her mother and the remainder with Hades, a compromise that explained the changing of the seasons. Hermes was responsible for escorting the spirits of Penelope's suitors. After Odysseus slaughtered them, he gently gathered their shades and guided them across the river Styx, ensuring they found their place among the dead. Assistance to the heroes. Hermes often played the role of a divine helper to heroes. In the tale of Perseus, he provided the young hero with winged sandals, allowing him to travel swiftly through the skies on his request to slay Medusa. He also lent Perseus the curved sword, the harp, which was essential in beheading the monstrous Gorgon. In Homer's Odyssey, Hermes aided Odysseus in overcoming Circe, the enchantress, who turned men into swine. He gifted Odysseus the magical herb moly, which protected him from Circe's spells and allowed him to resist her bewitching charms. With Hermes' guidance, Odysseus was able to maneuver the powerful sorceress and secure his crew's release. Let's talk about worship practices of Hermes. Hermes wasn't just a mythological figure. He was deeply revered in ancient Greek religion. Here are some specific ways the Greeks worshipped him. Hermes shrines. Hermes were stone pillars featuring Hermes' head and an erect phallus, symbolizing fertility, protection, and commerce. These were placed at crossroads, city gates, and boundaries. Travelers and merchants left offerings such as coins, food, or tokens, seeking Hermes' favor for safe journeys and profitable ventures. The next is gymnasiums and athletic worship. Hermes was associated with athleticism. Gymnasiums often served as spaces for his worship where athletes performed sacrifices and offerings to gain his blessings for speed, strength, and agility. Victorious athletes frequently dedicated their triumphs to Hermes. Sacrifices and offerings. Common offerings include incense, honey, cakes, and goats. Rituals often involve libations of wine, accompanied by prayers for guidance, prosperity, and safe travels. Festivals. There are Hermea festivals dedicated to Hermes, celebrated athletic competitions and games. These were especially prominent in religions like Arcadia, where his worship was particularly strong. Household worship. In homes, small statues of Hermes were placed at entrances to protect the household and bring good fortune. Families made daily or weekly offerings to ensure his favor. Now let's get into Hermes and similar gods in other cultures. Hermes' characteristics resonate with deities from other cultures. Mercury, the Roman god, is the equivalent of Hermes. Mercury shared his roles as a messenger, guide, and god of commerce. The Egyptian god Thoth. Thoth, the Egyptian god of writing and communication, mirrors Hermes' intellectual and meditating qualities. Odin, the Norse god. Odin, though a warlike figure, shares Hermes' roles as a seeker of knowledge and traveler between worlds. Anansi, the West African god, a trickster figure, embodies Hermes' cleverness and association with storytelling. Final god is Ganesh, which is from Hinduism. Ganesh is the remover of obstacles, shares Hermes' role as a protector of travelers and a bringer of luck. Hermes in modern times. While the ancient worship of Hermes has waned, his influence persists. Some modern practitioners seek to honor Hermes by creating personal altars dedicated to him. A Hermes altar can include symbols and offerings reflective of his domains. To set up an altar, one might include a statue or image of Hermes, a caduceus symbol, coins, or small trinkets representing commerce and trade, a pair of winged sandals, or a small lyre to symbolize music and creativity. Colors associated with Hermes include yellow, gold, and blue, symbolizing intellect, communication, and divine connection. Crystals such as citrine for prosperity and communication, amethyst for spiritual insight, and clear quartz for clarity and guidance can also be placed on the altar. Offerings can include honey, wine, fresh herbs like mint, or incense, such as frankincense or myrrh. Regular prayers or meditative practices at the altar help strengthen the connection with Hermes, asking for guidance in travel, communication, business, and wisdom. Many individuals have reported personal experiences with Hermes in modern times. One practitioner described how, during a time of career uncertainty, they asked Hermes for guidance. The next day, they unexpectedly received a job offer from an old contract, attributing the sudden opportunity to Hermes' influence. Another individual, a frequent traveler, recounted how they left an offering at a roadside shrine and later avoided a serious accident due to an inexplicable last-minute change in plans. Such stories continue to reinforce Hermes' role as a guide and protector. Some speculate that Hermes may have connections to extraterrestrial entities, particularly the Palladian aliens. The Palladians are said to be a benevolent race of beings who communicate knowledge and enlightenment to humanity. Hermes' role as a messenger, mediator, and guide aligns intriguingly with the idea of cosmic communication and interdimensional travel, leading some to see parallels between his mythology and modern accounts of contact with advanced extraterrestrial intelligence. Another fascinating connection is between Hermes, the Greek god, and Hermes Trismegistus, a syncretic figure combining aspects of Hermes and the Egyptian god Thoth. Hermes Trismegistus is credited with the Hermetic Corpus, a collection of mystical and philosophical texts that deeply influenced alchemy, astrology, and esoteric traditions. The Hermetic tradition emphasizes the pursuit of divine wisdom, echoing Hermes' role as a mediator between gods and mortals. His association with secret knowledge and transcendence continues to inspire spiritual seekers and occult traditions today. Modern Hellenistic polytheists, or Hellenists, honor Hermes through altars, offerings, and the revival of ancient festivals. Additionally, members of Hermetic and esoteric traditions, including practitioners of Western occultism, the Lemma, and some other branches of paganism, recognize Hermes Trismegistus as a source of mystical wisdom and spiritual enlightenment. Hermes symbols, such as the caduceus, remain iconic, particularly in commerce and medicine, underscoring his enduring cultural relevance. Hermes' legacy as a messenger, trickster, and guide continues to captivate us all, reflecting humanity's timeless fascination with movement, communication, and the boundaries between worlds. Thank you for joining us on this journey through mythology. Stay tuned for our next episode. We'll explore another fascinating figure from the ancient Greek world. Until then, keep seeking the stories that connect us to our past. This has been Vanessa Scaduto with Strange Darkness Radio. Until next time, stay curious.